If you work from home and most days feel simultaneously exhausted and like you didn't get enough done, I want to suggest that the problem might not be your schedule, your habits, or your willpower. It might be your space. Today, we're talking about one of the most urgent challenges of the last 5 years: how to build a home that houses both your ambition and your joy without one cannibalizing the other. Welcome back to the Intentional Design Series. I'm Natasha Antonioni, a luxury realtor and designer here in Austin, Texas, with the Council Real Estate Group. New chapter every week through the launch of my book in the fall of 2026. We've been building something together here: rituals, symbols, connection, beauty, energetics, and designing for growth. Today is chapter 9, and it's the one that most of you didn't know you were waiting for. Because the work from home era didn't just blur the lines between our professional and our personal lives. For most high achieving women, it erased them entirely. And your home and you are paying the price. Here's what I see constantly as a realtor and designer here in Austin: women who have built extraordinary careers for themselves, now working from spaces that were never meant to hold that kind of ambition. A dining table doubling as a desk, a bedroom where emails happen 3 feet away from where you're meant to rest. And here's what nobody tells you: it's not a discipline problem, it's a design problem. When a space doesn't clearly signal what it's for, your nervous system never fully shifts. You sit down to work and part of your brain is still in home mode. You try to rest and your brain is still in work mode. You're exhausted because you're never fully anywhere. I wrote this book in the early morning hours before my household woke up, right here in this office. When I sat down at my desk in the silence of my home, I knew that it was on. And I've had clients that have done their best creative work at a kitchen island or a dining table. This chapter isn't about rules. It's about understanding what your brain needs to switch modes and designing your home to deliver that signal on purpose. Let me show you how this plays out in my own space. My desk floats in the center of my office. I stare at a wall that has a whiteboard on it. That whiteboard houses my vision board. Not a blank wall, but something that reminds me every day. I don't even see it anymore, but it's unconsciously reminding me of where I am going. Behind me, you'll find a collage of images that represent my dreams and goals, things that remind me to move towards them. The ocean image that tells me about that future day when I'll be spending a lot of time at the beach. Frida Kahlo to remind me to create and let my inner self shine bright. Every object has been chosen not simply as a decoration, but as an inspiration point, something that catches my eye throughout the day and pulls me forward. Here's what the world sees: neat, curated, and then there's my vision board. That is a bit messy and very, very busy to look at, but still, it's full of my deeper goals and dreams. My husband's office tells a completely different story. Stark white furniture against a clean canvas, shelves lined with travel trinkets, personal development books, small models of furniture pieces that he's designed. A wooden racer representing the future gift to himself. His window frames the garden that he designed and mostly cares for, a visual of nature as a reminder to practice patience. Two completely different spaces, both completely intentional and both doing real work for the people that house them. In chapter 9, I call this work-play zoning, and it's built around 3 principles. The first one is signal design. Your home needs to send clear signals about what mode you're in. This doesn't require a dedicated room. It requires a dedicated cue. Maybe it's a lamp that you only turn on during work hours. Maybe it's a candle that you light at the end of your day to say, "I'm done." Morning light that draws you into your focus zone. Dario, for example, most days has his morning coffee outside, listening to the bird song, letting himself get grounded, centered, ready for his day. That ritual signals to his nervous system, this is how my day begins. Everything that follows is more focused because of it. The second is flexible anchors. The best work from home spaces aren't rigidly designed. They're intelligently anchored. One client found that her most productive work happened at her kitchen table where the light was pouring in. She called it her inspiration hours. Instead of fighting it, we designed that space, that room, to support that. clear the table, amazing lighting, and a beautiful plant that she loves nearby. One family found that their teenagers did better work at the kitchen island. We built a dedicated homework corner on the island instead of insisting that they do their work in their rooms. More family connection happened as a side effect from this small change. The third is the joy layer. This is what most home office advice clearly ignores. High achieving women tend to design their spaces for functionality, for discipline, and strip out everything that brings delight. But joy isn't the opposite of function. It's the fuel. Those simple branches in my office remind me that something is alive in here, which grounds me and helps to feel more focused and in my natural self. One of the most powerful workplace spaces I've ever experienced belonged to my dear friends Gay and James. Their Manhattan loft was a masterclass in intentional zoning. Grand Persian rugs defined the space. You could feel the shift from one zone to another without a single wall. Large wooden Buddhas stood tall near work areas, not as a decoration, but as a grounding force to help them throughout their day. James' Eastern tablas, handcrafted drums, were displayed and ready in case inspiration struck. And of course, he was in the music industry. Gay's PR company called Mantra was reflected throughout her home. Work and life and art and music all lived in that same space, and none of it canceled the other out. They had designed for both of their ambitions and both of their joys. That's the standard, a space that hums with actually who you are. Your homework this week: identify one signal that will mark the beginning of your day and the end of your day, and design it into your space. Not a room, not a renovation. One cue, a candle, a specific playlist, a chair only you sit in to focus, a morning spot that draws you towards natural light. One signal that tells your nervous system, we're in this mode now. New chapter next week, Chapter 10, Sustainability and Soul. How the materials you choose your home either connect you to something greater or quietly disconnect you from it. New videos every week until the launch of my book in the fall of 2026. Subscribe so you don't miss a chapter. And tell me in the comments, where in your home do you actually do your best work? I bet it's not where you designed it for.